What's up, everybody? House of Agendas podcast is back. This is our 5th episode. We are live. Kenzie, how are you doing? How was your weekend?
Honestly,
something.
right now, not too good. Like I'm trying to reset my hotkeys. I don't know how it changed. Like I can't screenshot, can't change the brightness. It's honestly awful. Besides that, I guess the weekend was nice. Yeah, the weekend was nice.
I mean, your Jets had a big win.
Man, listen, I ain't gonna overreact, but playoffs, debatable. Fringe playoff team, fringe wildcard team. I'm not gonna overreact though.
Okay, well, that sounds like a little bit of an overreaction. It was a good weekend for your Jets. I'm very impressed. We'll talk about it a little bit. New York football might be back. We'll talk about it soon. Just wanted to, my weekend, more heartbreak. That's what I come to. Weekends are built for heartbreak. So another soul-crushing loss for the Browns. So Ohio State football won at least. There were some entertaining games, but damn, we cannot get a close game to go our way recently. Trying to think. Social medias, guys. We've finally reached 30 subscribers on YouTube. That's at House of Agendas. The logo's on there. We appreciate the subscriptions. We subscribe back. On Twitter, it's HO at HO Agendas. And we're on our Instagram. It's House of Agendas also, all one word. Kenzie's been posting some of our short breakout videos. Had some hot takes on there last week.
Hot and accurate.
Nobody's more confident in the Wizards than you are, and that's your business. I can't get behind that. The crazy thing is you'll see people like have the Wizards like finish 11th, and then you'll have some other guy who has them finish in like 8th. So I feel like everybody's kind of up in the air about how they think the Wizards are going to do. So, I think you guys got a decent shot to be at least a play-in. So, judging off of where everybody says you guys are going to finish. But
they're wrong. It's cool. They're wrong.
They're wrong. I was going to jump right into it. I wanted to kick off the podcast this week with somebody that probably strikes fear in every team they play against. It's not somebody. It is somebody you like. He's there. He's lurking, but you can't game plan for him. He's practically unstoppable. That man is Justin Tucker,
the GOAT,
the absolute greatest kicker of all time. I'm going to hit you with a couple stats here just to quantify how insane Justin Tucker's been. In fourth quarters and overtimes, he has hit 61 straight field goals.
That is too clutch. That is too clutch.
For his career, he has missed 5 extra points. He is 98.8% on extra points.
He's really.
Now, this next number is number 1 all-time. He has the number 1 all-time field goal kicking make percentage. He is 335 out of 367 for 91%. That's the best of all time. It's incredible how automatic Justin Tucker is.
Like, that man, like, every time I have, like, a Madden franchise, I use, like, a top 10 pick on Tucker. Like, I'll get, like, a quarterback, like, a end, or maybe, like, a running back or receiver. And my next pick, it has to be Tucker. Because, like, if it's 60 yards and in, unless the weather is terrible, he's 3 points. If you get to midfield or even if you cross it a little bit, you're guaranteed 3 points.
Right.
Like, the Ravens have such a cheat code. That's why Lamar's MVP year, the reason they went for it on 4th down a lot was like, okay, all we have to do is, like, get to, like, the 40-yard line, and then we got points.
Right.
Like you said, like, you can't game plan for a kicker. What are you going to say? You can't scheme up a field goal block. You either get there or you don't. So having him in your back pocket is just, man.
Also, just to even show it more, Justin Tucker was rated 94th out of the top 100 players in the league as a kicker. Like, that's the utmost respect from your peers, getting voted in as a kicker in the top 100 players. He's a 5-time All-Pro, 5-time Pro Bowler, and a 1-time Super Bowl champion. We were watching the Bengals. We were talking about the Bengals-Ravens game the other night.
Yeah.
as a Bengals fan, once you see the Ravens like start to make some yards, and then you have Lamar had that 18-yard run, you have to have like the most empty feeling in the world because Justin Tucker's coming. Like he is like the Thanos of kicking. Like he is inevitable. He's coming. It's like you can't stop him. He's like, man, he's just incredible. So I just wanted to like quickly highlight just how incredible Justin Tucker's career has been, how good he's been, how good he keeps being, how reliable he is. He's literally the most unstoppable weapon in the NFL right now.
And honestly, a good question is, life on the line or like to win $1 million, you have to choose between Tucker making like a 50-yard game winner or Curry game winner 3.
But that's
honestly,
the thing, like,
bro, I might take Tucker.
Tucker's 91%. Curry's like 42. Like the odds are so much better with Justin Tucker. It's insane.
Like every time, like unless like it's a crazy shot, like when Curry's like open or like semi-open, I'm like, all right, that's Curry, that's going in. But when it's Tucker, unless it says like 68-yarder, like if it's like 55, I'm like Ravens scored. He's that guy.
I don't know, man. If toss up, I would take Justin Tucker because the numbers don't lie. They don't lie. So I just want to touch on him because he's just been so damn incredible.
Yeah.
Literally the most consistent player of this decade. Like, you just know if Justin Tucker has a chance to win you the game, you're going to win the game.
Yeah.
Next, going to transition into what many are calling the game of the year. This is probably the most important game in the AFC. We've got Bills versus Chiefs this week. I know you're excited. Your guy he's been playing very well. Both teams are 4-1. It is at Arrowhead this year. I just want to say, what are your thoughts on how this game is shaping up? Is it the game of the year this year for the NFL? What are your thoughts on the game going forward?
Yeah, I think this hopefully, like, you know, sometimes like when we get hyped for a game and don't live up to it. Like we was hyped for Ravens Bengals, that was just an ugly mess. But I'm hoping that this game, it lives up to the expectations. Like this game literally got playoff rules changed. That's like how important and impactful it was. And I think on the NFL channel, they have like a video where it's like the final 2 minutes of Chiefs Bills, and it's like a 25-minute video. Like it was just Allen scored, Mahomes scored, Allen scored, Mahomes got a field goal range, Chiefs won the coin toss, Mahomes scored. Like, so if this game, like, I'm hoping like it's like a 28-35 type thing because both quarterbacks are incredible, playmakers all over the field, and this game, it really might decide who hosts the AFC Championship game, and whoever hosts it might win it. So I'm really excited for this one.
I'm with you. It's definitely for me. It's definitely game of the year. Just to take a closer look at what we have this weekend. Josh Allen, just playing out of his mind. Also, he's thrown for 1,650 yards compared to Mahomes is pretty much 1,400. He's thrown 10 more passes. Mahomes has him by a touchdown. He's got 15. Allen's got 14.
He's only thrown 10 more?
Yeah, he's only thrown 10 more passes.
That's crazy because I know week 2 he attempted like versus the Dolphins like 61.
But you got to think there's a couple games where the Chiefs scored 40, where Mahomes, ran it up a little bit. Now they are nearly identical in completion percentage. Josh Allen's at 66.8. Mahomes is at 66.7. I mean, these guys are the best of the best.
Yeah.
They are the two best quarterbacks in the league. You can split hairs. You can, if you pick one guy, you're probably not wrong. If you pick the other guy, you're probably not wrong. Mahomes is doing a lot right now with probably a little bit less. Kelsey finally had a massive breakout game.
Right.
He's up to 7 touchdowns receiving himself. But Stephon Diggs is no slouch himself. He's got 5 receiving TDs. I think the Bills have a slight edge simply because I think their defense is a little more stout.
They're actually favored, and the Chiefs are home. That's how much people believe in the Bills.
Right.
Like, that's crazy.
And that's the thing. But to me, this game's a toss-up either way.
Yeah.
Like I get you. It's a slight edge. What are they favored? Do you know what they're favored by? I didn't get.
I'll check the line, but like I just know like the Chiefs like had the plus. Matter of fact, I'm taking the Chiefs. I might as well try to run up on it right now.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say because I was looking at the team defense. The Bills as a team have given up 61 points so far this year,
Damn.
and they've scored 153. That's a 92-point difference. Now, if you look at the Chiefs, they've been in some closer games. They've given up 125 points.
That Bills point differential that has to like be on pace with like the Patriots or something.
It's got to be. It's one of the best ever.
Yeah.
So I do think the Bills have the advantage on defense. I think Mahomes is good enough to make up for that difference.
Right.
It's going to come down to probably who has the ball last, like it did last time. Maybe the Bills can be on the opposite end of that this time.
The Bills are basically favored by a field goal, by 2.5.
Okay, which is crazy. They're playing at Arrowhead and they're still favored.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So slight edge Bills. I'm really hoping for a barn burner. That would, that'd be a nice bow on the weekend. Is having an all-time game like we did in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You're going to go Chiefs?
Yeah. Since last year's, remember they played in the regular season and the Chiefs just got spanked.
Yeah.
That was ugly. So this year, Chiefs 28-24. I think they won't be able to like stop each other much, but I think like the drives are going to take long. That's why it won't be like in the 30s and 40s. Yeah. So yeah, I think the drives are just going to take long. But yeah, 28-24 Chiefs.
And yeah, I mean, and that's probably true. But man, last week the Bills really showed off that they can beat you deep still. And Mahomes has had to do a little bit more of the surgical part of his game, being a little more accurate and not being able to take those deep shots.
Right.
It's gonna be. I really hope it's a great one because this has got all the makings of being a big time game, a game that, like you said, is going to be probably for home field advantage going in the playoffs. So, just really important game. Let's see. Something you were talking about earlier, AFC West. Are we disappointed in the AFC West?
Honestly, yes, because coming into the year, I was expecting all of them to fight for playoff spots. Like I had the fourth seed, not the fourth seed, but like the fourth finish in the division, maybe like the Raiders or Broncos, but I still expected that to be like 8 wins. Right now, like for them, just the Raiders 1-4. Now, granted, all their games have like came down to like the last possession. They could easily have a winning record. The Broncos, they're just that offense. Don't even want to speak about it. The Chargers, all right, some injuries, but still. And the Chiefs are like the only ones living up to quote unquote expectations with being 4-1. So the preseason hype they had of being like the best division ever and like what we've been seeing so far, it's just, it's not living up to it at all.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at it pretty much the same way. As a division, they are 10-10 right now. Now they have played a little bit in the division already. They played 2 games each in the division.
Yeah,
and that's going to hurt your division record or your record, obviously. But I was looking at the stats earlier. Every team in the division besides the Chiefs has been outscored. They have a negative point to give up point ratio. The Chargers actually have the worst out of the 3, and they're 3-2. So I do not believe in Denver. I think the Raiders are better than Denver. I think Denver is the worst of the 4. But I expected them to have two very impressive teams, and then I expected one of them to sneak in, like the Raiders. I expected the Raiders to maybe sneak in and get a wild card spot. But right now, it looks like it's the Chiefs and everybody else.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, the Chargers have had some issues. I was going to ask you, do you think the Chargers are going to get a pass for the season because of the severity of the injuries? You've lost an all-pro in Joey Bosa. You've lost one of the best left tackles in football in Rashawn Slater. Keenan Allen is MIA. He's tweeting a lot, but he's not playing a lot. They've just had a lot. They've had a lot of injuries. They have bad coaching also, but that's your own franchise's fault for keeping Staley when Staley clearly doesn't know. That 4th and 2 play against the Browns instead of just pitting them.
Yeah, that was crazy.
The Browns let them off the hook, which hurts me even more. But I mean, and Herbert, the problem is, I was looking at Herbert's numbers. The guy's playing good football without a full deck. I mean, he's still completing 66% of his passes. He's almost got 1,500 yards passing. He's got a 10-2, or he's got a 5 TD to pick ratio at 10 touchdowns and 2 picks.
Mm-hmm.
He's playing good football. He's just doing so much. There's a stat about the way he's getting pressured and the lack of sacks that teams are getting on him.
Yeah.
And it's all because of him. He's just been very good, but it's hard to praise one guy when they're on the teetering of the edge of losing every week.
Yeah, like with me is I understand the injuries and all that, but like preseason, some people have them going to and winning the Super Bowl. So
Yeah.
And this is kind of like the Nets situation, to like where every year is, oh well, if KD's toe, oh well, if they had Simmons, oh well, like at a certain point, like if every preseason you have the team going very, very far, like I understand why they might get a pass. It's just, do I want to hear it? Not really, but it's
That's
just
fair.
yeah, it's like the Nets situation.
Do you think is there any chance that Russ Wilson it seems a little extreme, but is there any chance that they reconsider this move and trade him? Or
Nah, I don't see that happening because
okay, so
I know
but
it's
that's my thing is
confidentiality.
you sign a guy for this much money and come to find out he's not that guy. We haven't seen a guy get paid this much and not be the guy.
Mm-hmm.
And right now he doesn't feel like the guy.
Yeah, that Thursday night game, that was egregious.
I mean, does Seattle know something the rest of us don't know? Was he hidden away up in the northwest, away from real criticism for a while? Because if you remember, people used to complain that he didn't get MVP votes, and now we're not that far removed from that conversation.
Yeah, I think 2 or 3 years ago in the player top 100, I think he was above Mahomes one of the years, probably like 19 or something. Like, so people still had him as like the perennial probably best quarterback. So for him to not get a touchdown and just make bad decisions in the red zone, like their red zone offense is like historically bad. So
that's what I mean. That's what I don't know. Is that's what I'm kind of wondering is, because you get paid that much money. Of course, you have a longer leash, but that's a lot of money to be tied up in a guy that
mm-hmm.
There's decent players in Denver. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah,
he just might not be that guy.
I think if he plays the whole year out at this level, they might consider it, but I definitely don't see it happening just because it's year one and like he's
now.
Like the extension was like what 5 years, 5-6 years.
Yeah, I mean 230 million.
Yeah, so I don't see them moving off him in 1 year.
That takes me into my next question. Do you think their coach makes it through the year?
Yeah, I don't see them doing the getting rid of him in 1 year, because then they might say, oh well, Russell's just getting used to him.
I feel like Denver went and got Russ because they thought they were on the doorstep. If you're bringing in a coach who isn't on the same level as you think the team is, why keep him another year? I just haven't seen anything to make me think that this guy's the right coach anyway. It's 5 games in, but we're getting to the point where, hey, you got to make a run if you're going to be a playoff team.
Yeah,
Chiefs aren't going away. If the Chargers keep getting healthy, that's not going to be good for Denver.
Yeah, the AFC North is always going to have like 2-3 good teams.
I mean, yeah, right now it looks like the Ravens and the Bengals. I mean,
mm-hmm.
if Cleveland knew how to finish a football game, they could be in the conversation too.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
I mean, you're lucky that certain teams are down. The AFC South doesn't look like they have a team that wants to win it right now. So that helps a little bit. It gives you a little more time. 17 games also helps. I just think that maybe if this continues, Hackett could be the next coach gone.
Right.
I mean, we already saw Carolina got rid of their coach. Baker got another guy fired. So, poor QB play. Now there's a fire sale on Panthers players. So what are we going to say overall? Are you disappointed with the AFC West, or is it too soon to have that much disappointment?
It's been a month, so like I guess like the right thing to say is too soon. But if we have another month of this, then yeah, it's the most overrated division ever.
Okay. I'm going to say I am disappointed with the results, but they still have one of the best teams in football. So as a complete division,
Mm-hmm.
I can't say they're disappointing because they could have a potential AFC Championship or Super Bowl team in the division.
Right.
Let's transition to something near and dear to your heart. Talk to me about New York Jets football.
Look, man, it's been a while since we had a bunch of young players good at the same time. Zach, he don't get me wrong, there's still some plays where I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Like that's throw the ball away. But like he's been more good than bad this year. Both our young running backs, Brees Hall and Michael Carter, very, very good. Like that's it's obviously not like the best 1-2 punch in a running back. That's probably you guys or Packers. But we up there. We like top 5, like catching, running, everything. Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore on the outside. Then on the defensive end, Quentin Williams, he's very good this year. I don't have his exact numbers on me, but like him in the run game, very, very good. And I think the past 3 weeks he got sacks. And then our young studs at corner, man.
Yeah.
My lord. Thank God. And like Sauce is a crowd favorite. Every pass breakup, like we cheer, like he just had a pick 6. And he actually had a pick this past week.
Yeah.
And
was that his first one?
Yeah, that was his first one of the year. And he threw the Tyreek Hill deuces up because remember Tyreek like disrespected us by not coming. And like he had some shady comments. So that's why this past weekend when Sauce caught his pick, he threw up the Tyreek Hill deuces. And when Michael Carter scored, like he did the Jalen Waddle. So like, yeah, we took that game very personal. So yeah, I wouldn't say back like, oh yeah, we're back like playoffs, but we're no, I don't think we're going to be like the 4-win Jets. We shouldn't be. We have 3 already. So yeah.
Right. I was gonna say, let's see. Here's some Jets notes right here. 3-2 this season. You guys are second in the AFC East right now. Your wins are over my Browns, the Steelers, and the Dolphins. Steelers and the Dolphins. They're on their 3rd string quarterback, but you've got to win the games that you have.
Right.
You beat the Steelers. I was impressed with that. Us, you know how that went down. But you still have won 3 of your 5, which is impressive.
Yeah.
I'm very impressed, like you mentioned, with your receiving core. You've got 4 guys over 200 yards. I mean, you guys are throwing the shit out of the ball. It's impressive. Your D-line, Quinn Williams, that dude is a freak.
Yeah.
You guys are good against the run. You've got very good corners. That DJ Reed and Sauce Gardner tandem is a very nice building blocks.
Yeah. What we need is, not to cut you off, but what we need is like a deep threat. Not saying like, of course, I would want Robbie Anderson back, but I don't think the front office is going to do that. We just need like because Zach has an arm and he can extend plays. It's just that like from what I see from Wilson so far, he's like an intermediate guy. Moore's an intermediate guy. Yeah. Davis can kind of get deep, but that's not his specialty. Braxton, we mostly use him like on jet sweeps and like end arounds. But like if we could just get like a burner to like utilize Zach arms or set up the play action, like we would be good.
And that's the thing is like Garrett Wilson, you guys need him to make those, those tough like 3rd down catches.
He's like our physical receiver.
Yeah, it's hard for him to go deep when you need him to be the guy to, make those big plays. Not necessarily deep, but big plays like 2nd and long, and he makes the catch.
Yeah.
So yeah, you guys going out and getting a deep threat is probably the next step for the receiver core. Surprising, Tyler Conklin hasn't been a bad tight end for you guys. He's almost at 200 yards himself, and that would have given you guys 5 guys at 200 yards. So yeah. I wouldn't say, if you guys could get maybe a little more consistency, every week, it can't be 1 week, you throw 50 times. The next week you're throwing, 30. There's no consistency.
Right.
If you get to that level where you're throwing, 30 and you're running 25, I think that would help even more.
Yeah, I think we should be between like 25 and 35 passes because we do try to establish the run. Like that's something that I do give them credit for. Like we don't try to go away from it, even though sometimes it's just bad runs. Like I know on 2nd and 9, you still want to like keep the defense off guard, but 2nd and 9, if you run it for 2 yards, 3rd and 7, drive over basically.
You're not helping Zach Wilson in those cases.
Yeah,
and he's getting better. He's getting better. He's getting better. He's been impressive when he's running too. I mean, he's
Elijah Vera Tucker, thank God, like he's been moving all over the offensive line. That Becton injury really hurt, but I think right now Vera Tucker, he's played like 3 different positions so far on the offensive line. So salute to him.
This week, you guys are going to be really tested. I think Packers coming off a tough loss against the other New York team.
Yeah.
What do you think? What can you guys do to slow down Aaron Rodgers in a bounce back game?
I would say first, stop the run because they run a lot more than like the national media says. Yeah. And then like make Rodgers have to trust his receivers because something that I have noticed like from the past 2 games is like if they miss a few passes or like Rodgers misses a few, like his attitude, he just gets like so disinterested. So yeah, like if we just stop the run and then we make him have to pass on us like 30-40 times, our corners are going to get at least 1, and our pass rush is going to get there a few times. So the key on the defensive end is just like stop that run, and offensively, just play mistake free. Don't give them no short fields, man. Just play mistake free.
That takes us to the New York Football Giants. They are 4-1. They are also 2nd in the NFC East.
Mm-hmm.
They have wins over the Titans, Panthers, Bears, and Packers. What have you seen from the Giants that you like? Where are they making the difference right now? What's changed for them?
Honestly, it might be Saquon wants his best running back title back. Well, not back because I don't think he ever had it, but he wants his top 3 running back title back because like the way he's literally carrying the team. Daniel Jones, I will credit him. Like his mistakes have been down. Like he used to be like a damn near 20 turnover a year guy. The mistakes have been down, so I guess he's playing better. But it's not like his stats are better. I think these past 2 games he maybe has like 300 yards passing total.
Yeah.
His rushing is very underrated. Like he's been rushing the ball good, but yeah, his passing is just down. So like they cleaned their offense up a bit, and they're playing really good defense this year. Maybe it's bad Packers offense, but the Giants defense, it has been improved. And I guess Daboll, he brought that the winning Bills culture over to the Giants, and it's been working. So salute to them, I guess.
I'm gonna piggyback off of that. I think Coach Daboll has changed the way the Giants view themselves.
Yeah.
They feel like they are supposed to be in these games. They feel like they can come back and beat the Packers. If you watch him on the sidelines, I enjoy the way he coaches. He's got that fiery attitude. He gets up, he gets excited, he celebrates with the guys. He's on the sideline fist pumping after they beat Green Bay. I like to see that from young guys.
Yeah. I like like when coaches are into it. Like back when we had Rex Ryan, like he would run to the end zone if we scored. Like
Rex was the definition of built different.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody loved feet more, and nobody loved beating the Patriots more than Rex Ryan.
Yeah.
But Daboll, I just like the way that guy goes about the business, and you can see that the players want to play for a guy like him. They're willing to go that extra inch to get to wanted to touch on something that I did think was a red flag. How sustainable is it when your quarterback, Daniel Jones, has 3 passing touchdowns? To me, that's a big red flag. Do I think he's capable? Yes, but he's a better runner than he is thrower, and that's. And unless you're Lamar Jackson, that doesn't work for a lot of people.
Yeah, that's something they definitely have to get cleaned up because I think against the Bears, he had 2 touchdowns off bootlegs, like the same play.
Yeah,
better teams are going to watch that, and you're eventually going to have to win from the pocket. And like you said, unless you're running like Hurts, MVP Cam, or like Lamar, you have to more than 3 pass touchdowns in a month.
Yeah.
You gotta do more than that.
Also, want to touch on, like you said, Saquon Barkley has really come back this season.
Mm-hmm.
Um, to be fair, he is second in rushing in the NFL right now. But if you look at his numbers, he's got 3 really good games, and he's got 2 games that are eh. Now he is carrying that offense right now, and you deserve credit for that.
Mm-hmm.
He's fifth in rushing touchdowns right now. Um, he is New York football
Right.
For the Giants at least. He's the face of the New York team. Um, I just think he's got to be a little more consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do I expect him to be Nick Chubb, who gets you 100 yards every week, who can get you a touchdown or 2 touchdowns a week? I don't think he's that guy right now. I do think he catches the ball a little bit better, but I think it's a different level of consistency. Now, if Saquon can be that guy every week, 100 yards, 95, 100 yards, that's a different conversation. I think he could get back into that mix at top 3. Also wanted to shout out their defense. They've only given up 7 touchdowns this year. They give up an average of 18 points. It's just very strong for them. They are much improved. I'm impressed with them more than anything.
Right.
New York, it's been a while since New York's played winning football, and both teams have done a good job of winning football games. So you have to give them credit. Are they back? I don't know if the Giants will ever get back to being Super Bowl, for a while. Could the Jets get back to playoffs? I think that's a tall task still this year.
Mm-hmm.
But another good draft, another year of everybody working with Saleh, you're starting to look at a team that maybe could sneak up on the Bills and the Dolphins. Dolphins, when they're healthy, we got to see what goes on with those guys, with Tua and everything. I think the Dolphins are better when Tua plays.
Right.
That we don't know because we didn't get to see them play against each other. But I think the Giants are in the mix right there with the Cowboys, and both the Cowboys and the Giants are probably a step behind the Eagles, but they're close. They're getting closer. So I wouldn't say they're back, but I say they're a good draft and another season away from being right there.
Yeah, and piggybacking off what you said, like back doesn't always have to mean in contention. Back means like the Jets and Giants were punchlines for like the past 5 years. Mm-hmm. So even if week 13, week 14, like when NFL Network does the in the hunt, if they're there, that's a win.
Yeah,
that's a win.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to look at it logically, you want to be in the hunt. If you're a team that's not been good for the last 5 years, being in the hunt is where you want to be. That shows that you've made the progress to get to that spot. And, it's going to be a tough road for both teams. I mean, sooner or later, the Giants are going to have to pass to beat you.
Mm-hmm.
And the Jets are going to have to play the Bills. And that's when you really see. Are you that guy or are you not?
Yeah, because looking at the Jets, let's say the playoff teams is Chiefs, Chargers, Bills, the AFC South, let's just say Colts and Ravens, Bengals, or Browns. That's like 6-7 teams right there. If the Jets don't make it, is anybody going to say disappointment of the season? No, we're going to say those teams are better, but we were in the hunt. We were week 14, week 15. We still thought we had a chance. So, yeah, that's a W.
Yeah. And then, the Giants have really set themselves up nice, stacking up 4 wins. Yeah, they're not against the best teams in the league. Upsetting the Packers is a good win for them. That's an important win. But you've stacked up 4 important wins now that you're just building that buffer. So I think both teams are on the doorstep of getting back to where they need to be. So nothing bad to say about either New York team right now. Moving forward, it is time for the MVP ladder. How many MVP candidates do you have right now?
I had 5 just because, but right now I think like it's only 3, but I just put 5.
Okay. Because you have 5, let's start it. Who's your 5th option right now for MVP?
My 5th is not Lamar, Saquon.
Okay. Wow.
Like it's rare that running backs win, but 4-1 record, even though despite like some of the teams like that we just named, still 4-1. He damn near he did not know he was playing quarterback. Like I think against the Bears when Jones got hurt and then Tyler got hurt. So like he wildcatted it up for like a drive. So let me just like show running back some love, not just make it a quarterback every single time. Want me to go right into 4?
Yeah, keep going. Yeah.
All right, 4. I had Lamar. He would be higher, but the interceptions like the past 2 weeks and his lows in the second half, the past 2 games, it's just got to get that cleaned up. Number 3, Josh Allen. Some people might have him 2. Some people might have him 1. I have him 3. That's very generous if you ask me. Very generous if you ask me. You know, beat them on some bad teams while they inflated some numbers, but you know,
beat them.
We're not here to hate. Number 2, Jalen Hurts. Got to show some love.
Yeah.
Undefeated. Some people question him coming into the year. Thought he was just like, you know, a running merchant, scrambling merchant, but his passing has got a lot better. Does that have to do with the weapons he has outside? Most likely. That's how it looks with everybody. You get a quarterback weapons, they look better. Number 1, my homeboy.
Yep.
What is there to say? Come on, like people debate who's the best quarterback, but that's really it. Who's the second best? We know who the best is. Everybody knows who the best is. Patrick Mahomes, the MVP so far.
All right. My 5, I do like that you put a running back on there. I do believe if the Browns were 3-2 instead of 2-3, Chubb could be on that list because he's literally doing everything possible to put them in a position to win. He's leading the league in rushing. He's leading in rushing touchdowns. He's second in carries. He's killing himself out there to try to win these games. So if the records were reversed, I would have had him at the 5 spot.
Right.
Instead, I'm going to put Herbert strictly because he's playing with not a full deck and he's still having a very, very solid season. Just the way he can get rid of the ball, the angles he can throw the ball to get rid of it. He's just so talented. It would be nice to see them as a team put it all together, but I think he's still been a bright spot on a team that is so for right now.
Yeah.
My 4 is Lamar. Same reasons as you. These last 2 weeks have been not great passing the ball. Throwing for 150-ish odd yards in a game is it's weird because you don't take into like you look at the numbers, you watch the game, you forget the guy's already rushed for 60 yards.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit different for him, but at the same time, it doesn't that doesn't work when it comes to the big games.
He just goes through these lows. Like they were up 10-0, and prior to that pick, it looked like he was about to run away. But after that pick, he just
and that's something that like I mean he missed on that Duvernay pass.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he would have had 2
which was a
touchdowns.
get like it's an easy touchdown. It's just he's fantastic. He's been fantastic. It's just he has these games where it shows its head that in the playoffs this is what we've seen. So I do have him at 4. I have Hurts at 3. The thing with Hurts is they are 5-0, but your numbers still matter in the MVP the MVP trophy. I don't think he's going to be able to catch up with Mahomes and Josh Allen in terms of stats. Those guys are going to throw for 40-some touchdowns and a shit ton of yards. It's going to be hard for him to match that even with the rushing help. So I'm going to have him at 3. I have Mahomes at 2. The difference in them in Allen having the 2 picks and Allen having 4 and Mahomes having 2. There's a reason why. We don't have to get into it if you don't want to.
Hey man,
if the Chargers could catch, Mahomes could have 5 interceptions.
He really could.
So we're splitting hairs. You say he's the best by like obvious amounts. It's just not. It's really not. Those guys are razor thin. I heard Cowherd say the other day, or must have been yesterday, that Josh Allen doesn't have the comeback victories that Mahomes has. Did he not see the Baltimore game?
It's cool. It's the first one in 2 years.
Josh Allen has, in like the last 3 years, 12 game-winning drives to Mahomes' 10. these guys are razor thin. We are splitting hairs picking between these guys. I have Josh Allen number one right now. I've been more impressed with their dominance than the Chiefs. The Chiefs have been dominant. It's a different kind of dominance.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give the slight edge to Josh Allen because the Bills have just been so damn dominant this season offensively. Any dark horse candidates that you think could sneak in there? I know you have Barkley at 5, which is kind of a dark horse. Do you have anybody else that you think could sneak in as the year goes along? I had a hard time finding anybody that I thought could sneak their way in because I think these are the guys. We've got the right guys. We just, what order are they going to finish in?
Mm-hmm.
Only person I could see sneaking their way back in, and this is kind of a long shot, just because I don't know what's been going on with them. I think Joe Burrow could sneak his way back in if the Bengals get on another roll like they had last year.
Yeah, with him it'll be tough because like he's just a gunslinger, so his turnovers are always going to be high.
And the reason I think so is because at some point, if that offense clicks, they could get you 45, and you'd be like, okay, well they've got Jamar Chase, they've got T. Higgins, they've got Tyler Boyd, Joe Mixon, they've got Joe Burrow. We just haven't seen it all click together yet.
Mm-hmm.
I know the offensive line's bad. I'm just saying he could be a guy if they start going off that could work his way in there. Other than that, I think it's kind of going to be hard for anybody else to get in there. Mm-hmm. Aaron Rodgers, maybe, but I don't think he has the weapons to get the stats that it would take to get in there. Tom Brady, we haven't seen them explode. I don't know if they're going to explode this year. They might just not be as explosive as the years have passed.
Mm-hmm.
That takes us to our power rankings for the week. Last week, you had Chiefs 1, Eagles 2, Bills 3, Green Bay 4, Vikings at 5. I had the Chiefs at 1, the Bills at 2, Eagles at 3, Green Bay at 4, Ravens at 5. Starting with number 5, who is your number 5 team in the NFL right now?
Oh, my number 5 team. It's the first time on here in a while.
Whoa. Is this the most New York bias we've ever had on the show? This is the most New York bias ever.
Bias, possibly deserving, yes. And when? Hopefully when. We beat the Packers.
If you beat the Packers, you'll be on my list next week.
That's brilliant to hear. It's going to be tough, but you know, why not? But on a serious note, mostly because comeback victories are always nice, and I think we have like a plus 30 point differential in the fourth quarter. So let me just show the Jets some love. Number 4, the Ravens, leading the division. Honestly, could be undefeated, should be undefeated, but some terrible second halves of fourth quarters. So I have them number 4. Number 3, the Bills.
Okay. All right.
Number 3, the Bills. Like I said, some wins have been very
impressive. If this is a real power rankings, you will not be a coward, and you will put the Chiefs at 2, and you will put the Eagles at 1 if this is how you're going to do it.
That's honestly
if this is how you're going to do it, you will put them at
the Bills. Oh, the Bills at 3. Oh, the point differential. Oh, this and that. But let's really talk about it. They beat the Rams. Are the Rams that good? We don't know about that.
Super Bowl champs.
They beat the Ravens. The Ravens are, the Ravens blow lead. So
the Ravens are number 4 in your power rankings. That's a pretty important win.
That is important. But if you beat a team that chokes a lot, is that really that impressive? No, it was more a Ravens choke than a Bills victory. They beat the Steelers. Really. The Steelers. And I'm forgetting somebody. I know I'm missing a game. They lost to the Dolphins. Who's their 4th victory?
I'll let you decide.
Let me see. All right, week 1, they beat the Rams. Week 2, it's week 2 I'm missing. Yeah, let me Google that. Who did they beat week 2? It probably wasn't that good of a game. That's why I'm not remembering it.
Oh my gosh, this level of hating is
the Titans. What? Get out my face. The Titans.
So the Titans aren't a good win. Huh.
Barely. Yeah, so the Bills, they're number 3. Their point difference
They
is
beat
good,
the
but
Titans 41-7.
it's the Titans. Yeah, not a good game. Derrick Henry wasn't back yet. Anyway, number 2, the Eagles. Undefeated, got to give you credit. Number
Okay.
1, the Chiefs. We're probably like 3-4 months out from them winning their second ring in the Mahomes era. Then number 2, my power rankings, the official, non-biased, factual power rankings.
Okay. Hopefully everybody got a good laugh. Got that out of their system. At number 5, I put the G-Men. Because they beat my last week's 4 seed, I think that's a good win for them. They are 4-1. That is impressive, no matter which way you look at it. I've got them at 5. I moved the Ravens up to 4, beating the Bengals on Sunday night. Primetime game. It wasn't always pretty, but they have Justin Tucker.
Right.
Lamar did just enough to get them in range. I'm going to keep them at 4 because they're leading the AFC North, which is still a hard division every year. I got the Eagles at 3. They're undefeated. It's great. I don't think they're as good as either one of the top 2 teams, but it is impressive as hell to be 5-0. I've got the Chiefs at 2. I don't know how the Raiders lost that game. All of a sudden, it was just everything just worked. I don't know. Travis Kelce had 4 touchdowns all of a sudden, and you're like, what?
And that decision, like, there's no logical reason to go for 2 there. Even if you get it, they have 4 minutes. Like,
yeah, I mean,
I don't understand it.
You're like trying to show your quarterback you have faith in him, and then
you just run an inside zone, like,
and you don't even use your quarterback. Like, I don't know. On these goal line plays, you got to trust your quarterback to make the right throw. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Jacobs had a solid game, but it's just that's a lot to ask somebody.
Yeah.
On that 2-yard and 2-point conversion. So yeah, I had the Chiefs at 2 just because the Raiders should have beat them. It was tough. At number 1, I got the Bills. They've been the most dominant team in the NFL. They've been the best team in the NFL. That gets settled on Sunday officially. Officially after Sunday, we will have the official number 1 team in the power rankings.
Yeah,
There will be no more excuses. There will be no more putting the Bills at 3 after Sunday.
Trust me, if the Bills win, I could maybe find a way to put them at 2.
There's just no way. Unless Mahomes, something just crazy happens, there's just no way. There's no way around this. I'm saying it now. Kinsey will have the Bills at number 1 next week.
Allegedly.
At next week, the Bills will be number 1 in Kinsey's power rankings.
Allegedly.
Can't wait. All right. That takes us to the we're going to run through Pick'em real quick. We've got I got the slate pulled up. We did not do very well last week. Just want everybody to know that we did struggle last week. We will get the tallies of all of our victories and everything. But we're gonna get this going. Kinsey, Thursday night football this week, and probably one of the bad games of this week. We've got Commanders at Bears. Yuck.
Man, Commanders.
Oh, gross. That hurts you said it.
Yeah.
Why? What makes you pick the Commanders? Because I don't. If Carson Wentz didn't play another down this year, I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't know. The Commanders are just one of those teams where, like, every week you look at them, you say, you know what, this is the week they're gonna win because they have talent. They just lose. And the Bears, outside of their running game, you can't tell me a thing that team does above like a B level.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Commanders.
I'm going to take the Bears because I don't like Carson Wentz. I don't like Carson Wentz. I think Carson Wentz gives away a majority of the games he plays in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see how he survives this season with Washington. Rivera the other day just said the difference between them and good teams is quarterback play.
Yeah, that's crazy to say.
That
That's
right
crazy.
there sums up your season for the Washington Commanders.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on, we've got a battle in Cleveland: Patriots versus Browns.
Now the Patriots just spanked the Lions and they shut the running game down.
Yeah, why did the Lions even show up? The Lions did not have DeAndre Swift though.
Mm-hmm. I don't see them shutting down your running game like that. And despite y'all losing record, you've been in every game. So I'm
We cost ourselves every game. It's not we don't get beat by people. We lose the game somehow.
so I'm rocking with y'all this week.
That's not good for us. I'm going to pick the Browns because I'm ready to get hurt every single Sunday for the rest of the year. So I'm going to pick us. We've got to slow down somehow the running game for the Patriots. Just slow it down. I don't expect us to stop it. But
and would you like to speak a bit about your man's Myles Garrett? You off the ship?
Here's the thing. I was very upset on Sunday. I may have mentioned that Myles Garrett is slightly overrated. I'm going to double down because he's not Micah Parsons. He's not T.J. Watt.
Damn.
He's not in that tier. I wish he was. He's a fantastic edge rusher, but he's not one of those guys. And it sucks because that's what the Browns need him to be. They need him to be T.J. Watt. They need him to be Micah Parsons, and he's not. The defensive line for the Browns, the D tackles are terrible. I'm just going to get more upset as I go on, so I'm just going to let it go from there. Next game, 49ers at Falcons. Do the Falcons get an upset win again?
It'll be close. They're surprisingly in a lot of games. I thought they would be way worse than this, but no, the 49ers, they're clicking right now.
Okay, 49ers. I'm going to take an upset. I'm going to take the Falcons in an upset. I don't know why. I think the 49ers are better. I don't know. I got a weird feeling about the Falcons for some reason, so I'm going to take the Falcons in an upset. Your Jets versus the Packers. We talked about it a little bit. We need your official pick.
Give me the Jets, man. The Packers offense hasn't been right now, and our defense has been looking good. As long as Zachary don't turn the ball over like 2 times, I think we should win this game.
I don't see Aaron Rodgers going 0-2 against New York. I'm going to take the Packers in a close one because I do think your guys' defense keeps it close.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think Zach Wilson can outduel Aaron Rodgers at this point.
Right.
I think he's going to have to make some big throws late in the game, and I'm not sold on him doing that. So I'm going to take the Packers in a close one against your New York Giants. It's in Lambeau, so I think that gives them a little bit of an edge also. That takes us to Jags at Colts in a very important game in the AFC South.
It's crazy because since when do division opponents play twice this early? Because the Colts just got 24 skunked by them week 2. But
it's weird. It is really weird that they play this soon again.
It seems the Jags hype has died down a bit. And I'm not going to act like the Colts should be happy about last week's victory, but it's a win. And I guess they know that at this point, this is kind of for the division. Even though the Titans are still in the mix, the Texans, they're not winning it obviously, but I think that 24-0 loss is fresh in their mind, and I think they say, all right, we kind of need this one, so I'm rocking with the Colts.
All right, I'm gonna go with the Colts also. I wanted to pick the Jags, but they let me down last week after my bold Jags predictions, so I'm off the Jags bandwagon officially. I was stupid for believing in a Jaguar. So back on the Colts, I think Jonathan Taylor. Is it time to get going, man? Are we gonna? Was last year a fluke?
Are
we gonna get going?
What's happening, man? I had you as the best bet coming into the year.
Yeah, this man was on fire last year. I don't know. I think he has to get right this week. I think this is the week. put your stamp on the division, and let's see
Yeah.
the Colts maybe start to turn this thing around all the way.
Mhm.
Next, we've got Vikings at Dolphins. The only way this is interesting is if Tua's playing. I don't know how the Dolphins can win with Teddy Bridgewater or their third string guy. I just don't
Yeah.
see it. So
I'm just hoping it's high scoring between Waddle, Hill, Jefferson, Thielen, Cook, Mostert. It should be high scoring.
a lot of good receivers on that field.
Yeah.
Who are you taking?
Vikings.
Okay. I also took the Vikings because the health of Tua is still up in the air. We don't at this time of the week we don't know if he's going to play or not.
Right.
I would assume he's not, so that doesn't bode well for the Dolphins either. So that takes us to Bengals at Saints.
Now, I was looking at this on like DraftKings, and everything is telling me Bengals, obviously. But the Saints just find a way to be in games. But do I want to trust Taysom Hill? No. Bengals. But if this is an upset, I will not be shocked. But Bengals.
I'm going to take the Bengals also. We're just I don't know. Are we gonna get the team that made a run last year, or is it going to be just kind of this in between team that you don't know what you're getting each week?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take them because I think I don't believe in Taysom Hill. I know he had some good runs last week. Andy Dalton's Andy Dalton.
Mm-hmm.
Olave was in the concussion protocol. If they don't have him, that's a big loss for their wide receiver core. Michael Thomas is still a question mark. A lot of question marks on the Saints side. There's question marks on the Bengals side. I'm going to take the Bengals. I just think they've got to win this game.
Right.
Takes us to Ravens versus Giants. This is a big game for the Giants. Really big game.
Giants, the run stops here. But if you somehow win, you are on the power rankings. But the run stops here.
Okay.
Ravens.
All right. I'm gonna take one more upset. I'm gonna take the Giants. I think their defense can do just enough to slow Lamar down. I don't know. I think it's going to be very difficult. I think maybe Barkley makes one play. That's the difference.
Well, and another reason I think the Ravens should have the edge is their passing defense is what's bad, and the Giants don't pass. So
no, that's true, but the Giants have been running on everybody, and I wouldn't say the Ravens are a solid run defense, but maybe this is where Saquon shows us that he's that guy.
Yeah,
that kind of game. This is a statement game. That comeback against the Packers was the start. If they stamp their claim here, it's only getting better. Next game, Buccaneers at Steelers. This looks like it could get bad for the Steelers.
Yeah. Mike Tomlin, I love you, man. You always find a way to finish 500. But if you do it this year, you might be the GOAT because that team is bad. So Buccaneers.
Yeah, I've got the Buccaneers. Last week was really bad for the Steelers. I know they're playing the Bills, but still 38-3.
Gave up a 98-yard touchdown on like the first play.
Minkah Fitzpatrick got little boy twice.
Yeah, he got small man.
They haven't put Kenny Pickett in a good spot yet, so you can't really blame him per se. He hasn't done anything special. But obviously they're in a bad spot. So yeah, Bucks by a couple touchdowns. Next takes us to the Panthers versus the Rams. This is in LA.
Rams.
No Baker this week.
Rams not because they're good, just because the Panthers. Then again, what if
Panthers are worse?
Yeah. Do I want
Did you say something about PJ Walker?
Do I want to?
Don't do it. Don't do it. There's no way. He could get traded before the game even happens.
Yeah, I can't do that. I can't do that. Rams.
I was gonna say, like, what are we doing here? These guys are terrible.
I can do that.
Yeah, I'm taking the Rams too for obvious reasons. The Panthers are crumbling.
Chris McCaffrey, please anywhere but Buffalo. Please, anywhere but Buffalo.
That would be a problem. We got next is Cardinals at Seahawks in the battle of 2 and 3s out in the AFC West or NFC West. Sorry.
Give me Geno Smith, man. Though it's
Smith.
I think Penny broke his ankle or his leg. One of them.
He's out for sure.
Yeah, he's out. But the Seahawks, their offense has been really good. Their defense has been what's been killing them. But the Cardinals, I think Murray said something like last week about the receivers got to wake up. They're just falling apart. So yeah, give me the Seahawks.
Well, maybe if one of your receivers wasn't doing steroids, they'd be awake. This is a game where if they tied, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know. I'm gonna give Geno the benefit of the doubt. The Cardinals can't score in the first half of games. I don't know what. Kyler is another guy that is being a question mark for that money right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's going on with him, but Call of Duty's not even out yet. Like, what's going on? You don't have that Call of Duty excuse right now. So I'm going to take the Seahawks also. I wouldn't be surprised if this was a really close game. That takes us to the biggest game of the week, the biggest game of the year. Bills at Chiefs in Arrowhead.
Chiefs.
Okay. Now, no matter what, if the Bills win, we're going to lead off with the power rankings next week. You will lead us off with the power rankings next week. The Bills will be number 1, correct?
If the Chiefs lose to 2K,
I
don't know if I can do that. Like, if there's like some cheesy roughing the passes and cheese and pass interference, I can. If they get a skill victory, then maybe. But if it's cheese, I don't know about that.
I'm going to take the Bills for obvious reasons. We've gone back and forth about this. He's a Patrick Mahomes guy. I'm a Josh Allen guy. It's going to be a close game. It's going to be a good game. I think everybody's the winner in this one.
Mm-hmm.
I got the Bills in a close shootout. That takes us to let's see, Cowboys at the Eagles in a very, very important NFC East game.
I will be taking the Eagles. Eventually, Cooper Rush is going to have to. I mean, he scored over 20 on the Giants, but eventually he's going to have to win the game. Like, I think this past week versus the Rams, he didn't crack 200 and had like 1 touchdown. That game was set the moment though the Cowboys had a scoop and score in the first play. Yeah. But the Eagles, the Cowboys defense is good, even great, but I don't see them holding the Eagles below 20. So Rush is going to have to do something, and I just don't see it. I'll take the Eagles.
All right. I'm going to take the Cowboys in an upset. Their defense has been playing really, really well.
Right.
I like Diggs and Brown in the cornerback wide receiver matchup.
Mm-hmm.
I like Parsons causing a lot of havoc. Let's see if Jalen Hurts. Let's see what he can do against this good defense. That's a really important game. That's probably the second. That's the second biggest game of the week.
Yeah.
That takes us to Monday night in a game where they scheduled this and they thought it was going to be great. Broncos at Chargers on Monday night. I've got the Chargers. I don't even know. I think the Chargers win. I don't know.
Give me the Broncos.
No way, dude.
Give me the Broncos. Way. Look, man.
What? Why?
Honestly?
Because you like field goals? I don't what?
Honestly? Agenda purposes, that's the only explanation I can give you. Agenda purposes.
So you dislike the Chargers enough to pick the Broncos?
Yeah, it happens. Yeah.
That's disgusting. That is absolutely disgusting.
Oh, off topic, but it's crazy that if we do the podcast at this time next week, we're actually the NBA games will be on. That'll be pretty fun to see it in the background. But yeah.
Nice. Hopefully it's the Cavs. All right. So you are going with the Broncos. Jeez.
Yeah.
I really don't like that selection for you. All right. That concludes the usual part of our podcast, and that brings us into Would You Rather time.
before that, y'all saw John Wall 24 to 20 minutes. Woo-hoo! Fringe All Star. Watch. Go on. Oh, wrong.
Getting excited for preseason stats is a massive red flag, folks. If you want to know why Mr. Derek Kinsey is single, that's why right there. Massive red flag.
Man, believe in Wall.
Stats. Preseason. That is nothing to be excited about.
He's back.
Would you rather, Kinsey? Would you rather fight a rhino, an elephant, or a hippo?
Not an elephant, but not because I can't beat it. It's just like they're pacifist, so like I would rather not.
Okay.
Honestly, between a rhino and a hippo, give me the rhino.
Okay.
Not that I'm scared of a hippo, because I'm not losing to an animal that is only attacking its bite. Like, that's just not happening. I'm not getting in between your jaws. No. I'm way too quick for that. Way too agile. Way too elite.
You want some? So okay, so you're picking. You would most likely fight the rhino.
Yes.
Okay, but you think you could beat a hippo?
Yeah, I could beat the rhino too, but when it comes down to the rhino, like I think when it charges at me with it like its horn, I'll be able like to do some grab its like horn thingy, then like flip and twirl around. Obviously, like you
realize how big a rhino is?
Yeah, but it's bigger than me. Is it faster and is it smarter? No. Therefore, I'll be taking the rhino, but I can also beat the hippo. But I think I'll look cooler versus the rhino.
Okay, so here's your hippo fact sheet. Just because. Okay. Trying to find the part about. Okay, so hippos. Oh, where's the stat about how fast they are? Because they are unreasonably fast.
Hey, man. I already have a perfect rebuttal loaded.
Okay, on land, hippos can run 20 miles per hour.
Yes. So we're probably roughly the same speed. Okay.
Hippos kill. Let me see. How many people a year do hippos kill? They cause 500 deaths a year.
I'm not one of them.
Sir, a hippo would kill you.
All right, listen.
Hippos are literally the most deadly land mammal in the world.
As for the hippo, yes, they can run 20 miles per hour, but this is a sport podcast, and they always say a 40 time in your time with the ball in your hand is different. So a hippo might
with the ball in your hand.
A hippo might beat me in a dead sprint, but like weaving and like dodging and like attacking and reacting, no, it's not tagging me at all. And if it does, it won't even hurt. Like I played lineman as a kid. I could take hits.
Hippos are so massive, like it's insane.
You're underestimating my heart.
I would, because you are such an outlier of a human being. I would probably pick an elephant. I don't know.
That's honestly might be crazy. Like, if they get water, like they might Blastoise hydro pump you, right?
That's not how that works. But I don't want to fight a hippo because they are extremely territorial and aggressive. They are killing machines. I don't know, a rhino, maybe. But I just think an elephant, if you can somehow get behind its head and then the neck area, I think you got a decent chance.
I don't know. Like elephants, they seem like they have like 9,000 HP. How would you even win? Like at least with a rhino and a hippo, you have a win con. Like they're your height.
A hippo is so uber aggressive, and their mouths, their big ass teeth are like 20 inches long.
All right, but like a hippo, you can bait it. Like, all right, it opens its mouth. It has to bite,
but
so go in.
They're faster than you.
Weave the bite, and then like hit his eye. Like,
you're not taking into consideration how fast they are. They're faster than you. They're bigger than you.
I don't know. No hippo's faster than me, but all right.
Sir, you can't run 20 miles per hour.
I could probably run like 25.
Okay. This is coming from the guy who couldn't remember his 200-meter sprint speed from track.
Listen.
But he can
I
run
told
25 miles per hour.
I told you, just take Usain Bolt's time and just subtract a second. That's my time. That's all you have to do, bro.
That means you'd be a silver medalist at the Olympics. And yet you're sitting here doing a podcast with me.
Bro, look, bro. I'm nice.
Who lost in this one?
I'm one of these things. I'm just gonna go outside and just record myself doing. Y'all don't think I can dunk? Y'all like, yeah.
You've admitted you can't dunk. Why does it matter at this point?
No,
you can't touch the rim at this point. What did you?
First of all, I said I can touch the rim, but that was like with me just jumping like for the first time like in months. Well, if I squat for like a week, that's like a freeze of power training boost. Like, bro, I'm telling you. Like,
so here's the thing.
I got a Kyrie lay package. You saw my video. I'm nice. I'm nice.
Sir, that layup is getting blocked by anybody with a pulse.
If your name is not Dwight in 09, you're not blocking me. And even he might.
No. I just want this on the podcast, on the record, folks. I offered to drive to the city, New York. This man relocated to Connecticut. He relocated to Connecticut the same day that I offered to drive up to play him in basketball. I want that on the record. I will drive up to New York. When the leaves change, I will be in the city. I will hunt this man down.
Hey, man.
You guys thought Craven the Hunter was bad. Just wait.
I'm telling y'all. I'm Himsy for a reason. I'm Himsy.
LZ.
Himsy.
Folks, this is the end of the podcast. We've had another fun episode. We laughed a lot today. We had a good time. Kenzie, anything you want to touch on before we get out of here today?
For those who bet, when you do bet responsibly, put about like 50 down in the Clippers, and just for fun, put like 2 down in the Wizards. You never know. That's my advice.
Okay.
You heard it here
Next week we will get into some more NBA stuff. We are getting closer to the season every week. Other than that, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for liking and subscribing. Thank you for supporting the podcast. We are out of here. Have a great rest of your week.
Yep.